Listen to the script sing, and they'll show us on the plaza slightly after this. Hey, watch for us in the bottom left corner.
Good morning here in New York City. It is October 9th, 2012. You'll hear more music from them tomorrow here on Today. One of our favorite bands around here out on the plaza where it's still spitting a little bit. I'm Matt Lauer. What about the weather?
And we got to listen to them.
Good one, Al. Coming up, a lot of people don't believe whether it exists or not. Well, one young man says he knows it's for real. We're talking about heaven. Colton Burpo says he has been there during a near-death experience.
And we got to see these people.
An extremely popular book about it. He's out with a new book. We'll catch up with Colton and his parents in just a little while.
All right, and we're on a little bit of a health kick this morning. We're going to have 5 simple habits that you can change to make you healthier. And then, of course, you may have heard the news out of Hollywood about Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman breaking up after 30 years of marriage. That came as a surprise to a lot of folks. We'll have a little bit more on that story coming up.
And we're going to start off our hour with what movies make you cry. Now, I know the answer.
You were with me.
We were together sobbing over The Notebook.
We were on a plane, and I got the Notebook sitting next to him, and all of a sudden I just weeping.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were going to say like the Bourne Identity or something.
Porky's. No.
Animal House.
It was embarrassing. It's terrible.
But no, that's a good one, though.
Of course, E.T. is celebrating its 30th anniversary, as you just interviewed the young man who played Elliot earlier. Well, it's one of the reasons so beloved is they had the tearjerker ending. How do you watch the end and not cry? We're going to find out which movies actually make us cry, including Donnie Deutsch, which I think it was the Iger sanction.
The Hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, a lot to get to. Let's go inside. Natalie's got a check of all the headlines. Natalie.
Good morning.
Okay, watch for us behind the window now. You can see Linda really well.
We have invited Mr. Donnie Deutsch to join the gang today.
See Linda's face on the right side?
I love your purple tie.
Sometimes you can see me.
Purple. I've never gotten more comments than when people love purple. It's a very interesting phenomenon.
What did I tell you? Prince built a whole career on that
really
concept.
fascinating thing. It's royalty. And you two are handsome men.
See Linda? See me?
First up on our take 3, Sob Fest. Women love to have them. I mean, how many times do we like to pop in a movie just to get a good cry? Savannah? We were just talking about this because we had Henry Thomas on for E.T. I cannot watch it without crying. I enjoy the cry. I look forward to the cry. There are actually several crying scenes. There's like the 4. This is, I'll be right. And listen, you have to be a strong human being to not cry at that. You know, sweet. And so many other movies. I mean, you were talking about Matt with The Notebook. There's also a scene in that movie that gets me every time. They're fighting in the rain, and he professes he'll love her forever no matter what, that there are going to be hard times. Here it is. That movie is relentless. It is a tearjerker. Johnny, any movies that get to you?
For me, Field of Dreams, when at the end he says, Dad, you'll have a catch, because I'm so close with my dad. I want to ask the women a question. It's very interesting, because I think post-feminist revolution, we've come what I'll call a little ways in the to see a guy sob up a little.
There's Linda again.
But
You're fixing her hair.
I'm curious, would you want to be sitting next to a man in a movie and he's bawling?
There, see me waving?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm good at waving.
I feel like a little tear in emotion.
But try to hold it back. Just a little.
You're missing out. Like the movie Frequency with Dennis Quaid.
That's a good one.
That is just
That's your tearjerker?
That's my tearjerker. When they're talking over this space-time continuum over a ham radio, and it just, and I had just lost my dad, and it was just, I mean, I wasn't bawling, but, you know, another time, this is kind of silly, Mrs. Doubtfire.
That last scene.
I was going through a divorce,
so it's all around.
and I just was sitting there with Courtney and just trying not to sob.
So it was difficult. But it is interesting. So, women out there,
It's
men, it's okay.
It's okay to cry.
But not a lot.
So Oh, you know what? Go
He's gotta let
ahead.
it go.
Yeah, exactly. Let it roll. I like the scene from Terms of Endearment. I did.
That was my second one.
Oh,
The little boy is in there and he's holding back the tears.
no, when she's in there and she's demanding the medicine for her daughter, and she just goes nuts in the emergency room there. Oh my gosh.
When the little boy is in and the mother's saying goodbye and you see.
So this movie is definitely not an easy one to watch. No, a bowl of ice cream helps.
Let's move to our take
Happy
2.
subjects.
That's right, Cash Cab. We've all seen the game show. Well, this was a real Cash Cab. Las Vegas Review reporting.
I needed to scoot over just a little bit.
He's a Las Vegas cab driver. Found a black laptop case filled with $221,000 plus in cash in his cab.
Only in Vegas.
He calls a buddy of his who had the cab before and said, "Is this yours?" The guy says no. So he turns it in to security.
Wow.
And he ends up getting a reward from the guy who left it in the cab. He was on the way to the airport. This happens to Donnie all the time.
I'll tell you what's interesting.
The guy just forgot the money.
No, here's what's interesting, and I think people are basically honest. But I think honesty has a lot to do with need. I think a lot of people on this panel, if it was left there, we would return it. Let's say all of a sudden you lost your job a year ago and your kids were hungry. Would you return it? So I think it's very hard to say, are we honest, are we not honest? I think a lot of us...
But this was an honest man.
But I'm saying, I think a lot of us are honest, and all of a sudden, depending on where you are in your life, does the honesty piece move?
Here's an interesting question, because the reward was $2,000. Again, this is on $250,000 that was left in the cash cab. So was it enough of a reward? Because some people are like, come on, tip would have been like 20%.
But you know, look, a reward is a reward. The guy did it. I think the big thing, he didn't do it for a reward, and he's $2,000 up.
I want to ask you a question. Are you an honest person?
I hope so.
Okay, would you have done that?
I think I would. I'd like to think I would.
If all of a sudden your kids are hungry and you haven't worked in a year and a half and you need to feed them.
It'd be harder. I think that you're right. It's harder, but I actually do think people are fundamentally honest.
I do too.
Regardless of circumstance, actually.
All right, let's go take 3.
Okay, take 3.
me.
Rules.
I'm on
Hallmark
TV.
is closing one of its Kansas plants that made 1/3 of its greeting cards, 300 jobs lost.
Look at
This just
me.
really points out the fact that email has really taken over. So it got us thinking about whether you still send a card when you send a card.
Donna?
Invitations.
Oh, really?
It drives me nuts.
That's how most people are doing it
Nothing
nowadays.
better than, in fact, we just had this happen. One of Nikki's friends, an email birthday party invitation, and we lost it. And
That's how
we
I
almost
sent out
missed
my
the party.
son's birthday party.
So another one sent a real one. We had it posted up on the bulletin board, and there it is.
More expensive, though, to do that.
Yeah, but a thank you note, any sort of
But
thing
here's
like
the
that, I
thing.
think is more important.
What are the when it comes to, for example, a death in the family and sending a card? Would you even send a card, or would you send? Would you
The death of the family, I call actually. But I also think this is one more example of the internet kills everything it touches. How many businesses, I keep talking about the dark underbelly, whether it's music, we keep saying it's advancement, it kills industries. And so it's sad.
Hopefully it creates new ones.
Not as much though.
Think
That
about
is
when
the
you
same.
get a nice handwritten thank you note.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our kids are not going to do that. It is what it is.
Well, they will if we teach them.
This is fun.
Come back early and often, Donnie.